We are going to talk about
Yellowstone.
Season 5, episode 3. It was titled "Tall Drink of Water." Oh, that's where she walked. We'll jump ahead, but that's what she says to him when she walks up to Rip in the bar.
Mm.
I couldn't remember for a second why it was
Guess
titled
I didn't
that.
make that connection.
It starts out with, not flashbacks, but recaps. Of
Right,
what
recap,
happened,
yeah.
the previous episodes. And a lot of times those recaps will kind of be, sometimes they'll go back multiple episodes.
Yeah.
If it's something they're going to tie up in this one. Yeah, they talked about Monica losing the baby and wanting to bury him on the ranch, and John as governor, where he terminated the lease for the airport.
Whatever else, all the
all of the stuff that upset all of the other developers. Shooting the wolves. That was a big part that's carried over. And then the flashback of how it ended with
collar. The collar from the floating down the river.
I guess the episode opens up with a flashback from
it's kind of a continuation, I think, from the electric company where they were spraying that stuff and he got upset. So we kind of, I think it's related, but maybe not. I don't know. But it's a flashback, but I don't know.
It's showing more when the dead cattle that they're finding, but are because of wolves, not because of the chemicals.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe it wasn't connected.
But it might have. It was probably around the same time frame because Rip looks about the same.
Yeah.
I was talking to Sean about it, and that's what he was talking about. There wasn't that big a time gap back to when that would have been. He was just curious as to why they didn't use Kevin Costner and just kind of either make up him a little younger or CGI a little.
Yeah.
Where they went with an entirely different actor. I can see Beth, her character, and Rip's character because they were almost teenagers. But,
a little hard to make them that young.
Yeah.
Maybe they want you to immediately recognize that you're flashing back because
that's true.
Rip and Carter look a lot alike too. A little younger Rip. So if you put it, I might be confused.
So they find dead cattle and they pretty much come to the opinion. Carter finds one of the first ones.
Right.
And then
I love that his signal was to shoot a gun. Of course, they didn't have cell phones then.
Right.
So his was to fire his gun to get them to come back.
Right. Like they did in 1883 when they did that one. Come to the conclusion that it was a problem with wolves.
Yeah.
So I guess they've been having problems with wolves for however, because I'm guessing this flashback is about 25 years earlier.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if Rip is about 20 there, I would put him now at about 45-ish.
I didn't know how old he was.
If Lloyd is 58, I would think Rip and them are probably in their 40s. Jumps to them.
John, the city, I guess it's a city council meeting. I don't really know what kind of meeting.
Because John is still, at that point, he was still head of the livestock commission.
Right, he was
the livestock commission.
Right.
They're arguing that there's not a wolf problem. There are no wolves killing animals. And John
comes in and says, there is.
Yeah, he's had proof of 5 of them. So they're still always having problems with wolves. And
it was something about, I guess I don't know, they have put them more in the park or something. I think
they reintroduced them back in the area because they were pretty much extinct from the area, and they had brought them back from other parts of the country or other parts, I don't know, the world, or however they reintroduced. Kind of like they did here with the black bears, because the black bears used to be almost non-existent.
Probably everybody killed them off. So.
Right. And then they reintroduced them, and now there's black bears everywhere. There's kind of a problem.
Yeah. Then it just kind of...
He's expecting them, which I guess if that's the county, like you said, whatever the association that they're meeting with, to reimburse him for the cattle he lost. He said he expects to have a check by the next morning.
Yeah.
But then it jumps ahead. Rip wakes up and Beth isn't in bed.
Right.
And she got up early.
Getting ready.
Yeah.
And are almost completely ready. And,
John's sitting out on the porch, his morning whatever.
Coffee or whatever he called it, his thinking time.
Yeah. And Beth comes out, with her coffee. And then,
they both, Rip and John both comment about her being up early.
She says she has to go to Salt Lake to tie up a lot of loose ends.
which wasn't exactly what she was doing.
Right. But we were wondering last episode, or the first 2 episodes of this season, how they were going to tie up her legal problems from at the end of last season.
Or if they were just not going to.
And this, I guess, kind of is part of tying that up. And Beth has a talk with John about, I guess she thinks that he needs to find somebody.
Can't love a memory. You can just love the... So, well, that's been a long time. What, 20-some years? Right. So, yeah. She goes to her car and cries and then drives off.
And then it jumps to in a scene in the bunkhouse where everybody's getting ready. They're in the bathroom, brushing their teeth, brushing their hair, doing everything. And Walker's in the shower. And he keeps yelling through the curtain that you need some privacy.
And they're like, why?
Right.
Kind of thing.
They hand him some towels over the...
Well, the one guy knows. You can tell he knows because he hands him 2 towels on purpose.
Yeah. Well, he says because they're little. But
but you knew he knew once he opened it up. Opens the shower curtain.
Then, they're both in the shower and he comes out. And in that scene, Walker is missed. I saw that somebody in the Facebook group mentioned that if you look, Walker is missing his brand from his chest. I guess there's a little continuity problem, the production of the show. But they forgot to put it on before that scene.
Oopsie.
And they're talking about it's Lloyd's birthday.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, the running joke about how old he is. Rip says that, he's 58 because they all were expecting him to be like 70
or something. And he was like, what?
That's what the one guy, that's what he said.
Ryan.
Asked him, what, did you have cancer?
Yeah, they're all giving him a hard time.
Rip goes out, I guess, to get on with the day and finds Carter in the barn and tells him to saddle up a horse that he's riding with him that day. Because Carter's in there, he's feeding a little baby calf.
Right.
And because he asks Rip what they're going to do with it, if it's because, it doesn't have a mom. Rip tells him, no, that they will keep that one around. And that's what he makes the comment. He said, orphans don't get shipped off around here, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, meaning him and the 2 of them. Yeah.
And then the park rangers show up. I thought that was pretty quick, which I don't know what the time period has passed for the past few
but he
days.
said 12 hours was once they stopped moving for like 12 hours that they would notice, and it was hung up on the, got stuck.
Right.
So
it just seemed really quick. You'd think they would put more effort into keeping them in the park then.
If it's outside, it should send a signal if they made it outside the park.
I mean, because you can do that with your cell phone. You can set up perimeter for your tracking with, say, your kids with their phones, and when they travel outside of the perimeter, it'll send you a notification, whatever the area that you set is.
Yeah, tell them they can't leave.
You'd think they would easily do that with the wolves too, because if it's going to run off, as long as it continues to move, then I guess it's never going to be alerted to it. So
I guess
who knows how far it can get away? Yeah, they show up because they find one of the collars, and they say that it was attached to a log, and Rip says it was probably poachers.
And they were like, yeah, probably. And then they said they were going to go out and look, and they ask Rip if he wants to go, and he says no, and they're like, that wasn't a question.
Right.
And Rip's like, crap. So
which I don't know there's nothing there they could prove. I don't even know what the investigation is for. It's not like they're going to go out there and be able to find evidence, I wouldn't think. I didn't quite understand, I guess, so when they tilled up the land, was that just to get rid of all the markings, or did they actually
probably the
bury them?
Blood and stuff too, because, they shot him, so.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. What was in the scene, which we're kind of jumping a little bit, but that's okay. They showed something on the ground, but
when they're out there at the till.
Is it? I couldn't see anything.
On it. I've got a shot of it. It looks to me like a footprint, a paw print, or something. But you can't
one
really
of
tell.
Maybe wolves or something.
But they knew the wolf was there, so it's not like
because he was like, "It's right here," and Rips was right here, and Rips like, "If you say so."
Yeah. I don't think anybody's disputing that they were there,
right?
But that they were there and then wandered off or went off hunting or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
But proving that, that they shot them, I guess, unless they actually find the bodies.
Yeah. And I'm guessing, they buried them or took them to the train station.
Right. I mean, if they get rid of people pretty easily, you'd think they'd get rid of wolves pretty easily, too. And then it jumps to Rainwater. Him and Mo are there talking to
I didn't know his name.
Casey and Monica. They were talking to Casey and Monica about burying the baby.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they were like talking about all these customs about the way they need to do it, and it was the 4th day, and they needed to do it, and I don't know, but something about a horse and stuff, and Casey and Monica, I think, were both kind of like, no.
Well, that a horse, had to die because they had to, the baby rode the horse into the spirit land. Is kind of how it has to be transported. So it goes with the horse.
Okay. And they both kind of, I don't think they wanted to do that.
We have that horse now. Technically, it took care of, because he said it'll take care of itself. It knows when. You could say that's the one that John's horse, when they had to kill it last episode.
Rainwater gives a big speech too about death, and that's a private thing, and
right, you have to work through it on your.
Yeah. Which then Monica goes inside and kind of has a breakdown. And he tells her no, she has to leave her alone. She has to
just work it out.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how she cut her hair.
Yeah, I didn't understand, but then again, I guess I've not been through that, so I wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
But
so he talks to them about stepping down from being livestock commissioner. And that's when Jamie could probably has the pull to get him a job as a Montana Ranger. Says because they really need him, and they haven't had him in that area, I guess, for decades. But it would be, I guess, really helpful to have one. Jamie, then shows up at his office. Jumps to the next scene.
Yeah, his secretary hands him some papers and says, "You've been served."
So when he goes into his office, the market equities people.
Yeah, Sarah and Ellis. I don't know, and then they discuss. I get some of that stuff when they're talking about it. I'm just like, I don't know what y'all are saying. But
Ellis is trying to, because Jamie tells him that there's nothing really to do
He's
anymore.
Like, you don't have anything
there's
legal.
No case. They denied the zoning request, and it's not going to know what their court thinks is going to happen. Can get it approved, and so they kind of play it off as like Jamie had a little small win there. Yeah, and
Ellis gets up and leaves, but Sarah's still there, and she talks to him, and then after a few minutes, she talks stuff, and then she gets him says they need to finish talking, but they should talk about it over dinner. And so she tries to. He didn't really agree, but he didn't not agree, though. He's going to go just by his reaction, but he didn't say okay,
But he just jumps to, Jamie's pretty easily manipulated because his campaign manager did it in the last seasons, and everywhere
where's she
along
been
the line.
They haven't showed her or the baby.
I don't know. I thought she was just going off, didn't want to have anything to do with any of them anymore.
Was she not at the house before he killed the dad?
Right, she was leaving.
Oh,
she did because she thought the dad would be bad for his. At that point, if he was going to run for governor, is what her plan was. But he's gone now,
so she didn't come back.
And I think since he wasn't going to run, that John was going to run, then they did the announcement.
She didn't want anything to do with him, because I feel like she was just about the money anyway.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, just for him and the power.
His kid's gone, so he probably don't care.
So then when Sarah comes out of the office, and Ellis is waiting on her, and that's how it went. And
you realize that they've definitely been scheming, which you knew that pretty much anyway. But
everybody knew that except for Jamie. Casey, the next scene jumps to Casey goes to see John to talk about burying, making sure.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't imagine why John would say no.
No.
Because they buried everybody in the family on that farm.
Right.
On that
so
ranch.
Why would you not? It was his grandson, so.
Right. And he tells him that he's going to step down.
That
he did. That he, I guess technically.
Well, he does to him, actually, steps down. He didn't, he hands him the badge. He didn't really want to accept it, but he didn't fight him too much on it, surprisingly, and just takes it.
So I don't know who they're replacing with.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Rainwater and Mo are talking about that in the car. You see in a minute about who are they going to replace him with.
Right. But he felt John needed to be replaced too.
Well, yeah,
Rainwater, because that's what he said. Because Mo says that John got everything accomplished what he wanted to get accomplished, which was stopping the development. That was his only goal for being governor.
So now he can just step down and be done.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what Rainwater says. So, he needs to resign and let somebody in here who's going to lead then. because he feels that, I guess,
he's not
leading,
which
he's not doing
he's
anything.
not. Yeah.
So rainwater, yeah, like you said, is they were dry. Him and Mo were in the car headed back to the casino, and when they get there, they see a big protest
at his casino.
Yeah, it is. I guess empty inside, real slow.
Yeah, because he drives him around the back, but then they go in. And...
Mo, mentions to him that he can have them removed, the protesters.
Yeah,
I guess if they want. I guess what they're doing, the way they're doing it's illegal. I don't know.
And maybe because of reservation land is different rules and stuff too than on
Angela. Yeah, Blue Thunder. She's in there.
Yeah. So I didn't realize. So they're not allowed to drink apparently during that conversation.
I think. I don't think they're not allowed to drink any time. I think it has something to do with the casino thing too.
I don't know, but because he picks it up, the drink, to smell it or whatever, and she's like, there's nothing in it. I follow the rules, blah, blah, blah. She kind of starts going off on him. Yeah. But she says she's removing him. I don't know exactly what that meant.
I don't know.
I'm like, from where? From what? I didn't know if she had the authority to do that, but maybe she does.
Yeah, I don't know officially what her position is. I thought she was just kind of like an attorney type cleaner person that came in and fixed things, a fixer.
I don't know.
That he brought in like before, because if you want things done, kind of like a Beth or
right,
they get the
kind of like the market equities brings in Sarah. Right. She's the
but Rip, the scene jumps to them. Rip, like we were talking about, he's in the field with the park rangers where they plowed up the land. Yeah, when it zooms in at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what that. But... Of course, they say they're going across the mountain. It shows you the beautiful mountains again. Right. And Rip's like, good luck. And he said some really good cowboys don't make it across that or something. And he said, you're not good cowboys.
Right, that's what I was saying. They don't look very...
So then they decide they're going to go take a chopper instead. And he said, no, you think... He's like, get off my land, which is not his, but it is right now.
Yeah, because I guess he's handling everything.
Yeah, he makes all the decisions pretty much and stuff. Because
since he's been gone, he wasn't in this episode hardly at all, except a couple little scenes.
Yeah,
that
that's
one
true.
With Casey, and most of the time you just never he wasn't with anybody.
Well, he was sitting on the porch at the beginning with Beth. But
did he say then where he was going, or if that whole day?
Well, so when she came back in, we're skipping ahead, but when she came back in from work, from her meeting thing, she asked where he was, and he said he'd gone back to, was it Helena? I guess offices, wherever. Helena. Yeah, okay, I was thinking that's what she said. It was, or that's what Rip said. He'd gone back to Helena, which I think we'll see more of him just from the teaser, whatever. That we'll see more of him next week.
So Beth goes and has her meeting with Schwartz and Myers head guy Rob.
Person International is what the name of his company was, or something. I don't know. I didn't know who they were or who she was talking to. I was confused. I was like, am I supposed to know who these people are? Clearly knew him. She had worked with him, I guess, in the past stuff. And apparently they were pretty close friends because she knew a lot of some personal stuff about him too. And so he kept saying, he kept asking, where's the snake or something in the deal?
Oh, yeah.
When she was doing the deal.
Because it was way too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because,
but she's just she doesn't want anything to do with most of it. She just wants
to keep that, to protect the land, but then have some money reserved out of it for herself. And she, I guess, is afraid, I don't know, that they're eventually going to lose all of that or that part of the company because of it. But she convinces him to agree to the deal, and then he signs off on it.
Which somehow I think it's still going to go bad for him, but maybe not. I mean, because I don't know if she really did have an ulterior motive with that. I think because her motive, it wasn't against him. It was against market equities.
Right. But that's what I mean. Her getting rid of this, because that was part of her thing with market equities, was that now they have no, I guess, leverage.
Against her. Legally.
Yeah, because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when Carol hears it on the news that transfer happened, that Ellis comes in and lets her know that Beth put all that land in a conservation easement too, and that the board wants Carol to go back to New York, and
Yeah.
that they're dropping the suit, and she is probably going to be fired.
Yeah,
He doesn't say that, but
no, Carol's going to be fired. You mean?
Yeah, Carol's going to be fired.
Probably,
but the board wants. She's getting sent to the principal's office, basically.
Very much.
You didn't do what you were supposed to do when you came out here.
Yeah, but she looks at Ellis and tells him to ruin the family, and he says, well, what about Sarah? And she says, turn her loose.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I don't know if I guess she hasn't been fired yet, so technically she does have the power to tell him that. But and they weren't told to go back, so
they're still trying to get done whatever they can get done.
Yeah, so it's just her that was sent home.
Yeah. So all of that legal battle kind of ends up. It appears to be so far a big positive win for the ranch and
somehow
Beth and them.
It won't be, but
right.
but I mean maybe that part, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's celebrating. She goes back to the ranch and she's all excited.
Yeah, she goes running in the house and
she wants to celebrate and party and have a good time about it.
Yeah, Carter mentions that's what she says she wants to celebrate, and Carter says they're having a birthday party for Lloyd in the bunkhouse, and she was like, "All right, let's go." She says she has the perfect dress for it or something.
Yeah. They go into the bunkhouse and it turns into a basic, boring, every night poker game that's going on. She doesn't look too happy.
She's kind of like, this is stupid. This isn't a party.
Carter keeps mentioning he wants to play because Carter but Rip
won't let him.
Yeah, because Carter cheats.
Oh.
And that's what he said. You cheated enough when you were because you played them before.
Yeah. Okay.
Beth wants to go to a bar. And
and everybody keeps saying that's a bad idea. Not just Rip, but all of them say that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
She says, "No, we're going." And then Rip, kind of puts his foot down. It's the husband. It's like, "No."
Yeah, I said we're not going. Yeah, and she's like, "Let's go!" And everybody gets up, and because they realize when he tells her no, they all have this. It gets real quiet, and they all look around like, "Uh-oh."
And I was expecting it to turn into a little thing between the two of them, but
it didn't. He just realizes.
He grinned.
I can't tell her. No.
And that's why he makes the comment that he said, "I guess I realized that it was a poor choice of words."
Yeah.
Him saying that, "No, we're not going."
Yeah. Well, he should know by now. She's going to get what she wants anyway.
Right. And she tells him that she's going to force him to have fun tonight.
Yeah, he just grins and goes, "Okay," and follows her out.
So they go into, what's the name of that town that they go to?
They said it a couple of times, but I don't remember.
Bozeman?
Maybe.
Because I guess that's like the grown-up area. It's really developed a lot where the bars are now, and they end up going to the bar. I guess the appearance first looks like a country bar. I guess to a real cowboy, it's not a country bar.
Right.
It's a lot of wannabe cowboys.
Yeah, Rip and the Bar M guy, the older Bar M guy. That's what they discuss, kind of thing. It's not like it used to be,
right? Kind
of thing. Or he made a comment, and Rip says that was a long time ago, and the guy agrees. Yeah.
But the singer Abby, the one that Lainey Wilson plays, she's still there, or not still there. She's there performing.
Yeah, her and Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, because she comes down to talk to him, so clearly she does like him too. That he's kind of
he's rubbing off on her.
Yeah.
So, but Rip tells Beth, to keep her craziness in check.
Yeah. Spoiler: clearly she did not.
No. But everybody first is drinking, having a good time, dancing, celebrating.
Yeah.
And that's when Rip runs into the bar M guy and they talk, and he buys him buys him a whiskey. So then some girl, I don't know if she knows him, didn't know him. She appears not, but hits on Rip. Rip tells her, "I'm married," and she says, "So am I."
Yeah, and giggling. Clearly, she's drunk because you can kind of tell by the way she's laughing about it.
And he asks her, "Where's your husband at?" And she says, "Sacramento." Yeah. And she says, "Well, where's your wife?" And he points over to Beth, said, "Right there, staring at you." So she decides she's gonna go over and talk to Beth.
She's because she says, "I got this," and he was like, "Oh."
So yeah, then he yells at Lloyd.
He knows.
Time
to
to go.
go. He's
ready.
like, Lloyd, we're out. And Lloyd says, but it's not midnight.
No.
Because, they agreed to live by midnight, though, because nothing bad happened before midnight.
Yeah. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, that's but apparently not the case.
No. So as she goes over, like as soon as she gets over to Beth hits Buster in the head with a beer bottle. Then, of course, a bar fight breaks out between everybody in the bar, except for the guy on stage playing the guitar singing.
Yeah,
he
just keeps on going.
Kind of like
I guess maybe he feels like he's safe up there, or he just, I don't know. He's like, I was paid to do this. I'm just going to keep doing it till somebody tells me to stop.
They used to, I remember, you remember seeing in Roadhouse, it was that way. They used to put the bands up, and then they would put chicken wire in front of them to keep people from throwing things at the band during when fights would break out, or people just being...
Yeah, and so I wasn't real sure the first time through why everybody just started fighting. I guess maybe that's just the thing you do. But so what happened was Beth hit the girl, and then the bouncers come over and grab her, and they said that they were putting her in a chokehold or whatever, which they jump on the bouncers, and then it just becomes a whole thing in the whole bar.
Yeah, then it's free for all. So.
Yeah.
And so then it, cuts to the scene of them all standing outside with the police there, kind of as they're talking to all of them. Yeah. And then, of course, Beth, one more time, just goes over and punches that girl.
For no reason.
Right. Just to top it off. And then the sheriff shows up, and Rip's talking to him because they are going to arrest her.
Yeah, well, he says, you know who she is, right? He didn't seem to care.
No. So they arrest Beth, and the girl says she is going to press charges against her. And then the scene kind of ends with the police car. It's a police truck, Blazer, Bronco, whatever it is.
Driving off, yeah. But that's kind of how it ends. Yeah.
Then they cut to scenes from next week.
Next week, yeah.
I don't know. Looks like Kevin Costner will be a little bigger part of next week's story. But so I guess we're gonna have to figure out how Beth is gonna get out of this, or if just him as the governor is gonna be able to smooth it over.
I mean, Jamie will help her, but I don't know how much, because Jamie don't like her. They don't get along, but he will. Just because. Yeah,
their decisions to press charges, not press charges, would be pretty easy, or to get it kind of swept under if the victim, I guess, if she wasn't making a big deal about pressing. But in the preview, it looks like she's going to make a big deal. Yeah. And some of the rumors on some of the Facebook groups was that Beth had this whole thing staged for some reason to help with to justify getting fired, and the Schwartz
I don't know
thing, and but I don't know. She's always seems like she's, especially when it comes to planning things out, like usually 2 or 3 steps ahead. She's playing chess, not checkers, kind of thing. Yeah. And for her to...
Well, she even made the comment when she was talking to when she was at Swartz and Myers, and they were she was trying to make the deal with the guy, Rob. She even made the comment, I'm 1 step ahead, but I'm not 2, so you need to sign this, or, which I think she was just trying to push him. She probably had more time to buy, but she didn't know maybe either, so.
She just always, her character always seems like she's scheming and planning and always has stuff in motion headed to an end. And the whole bar, going to the bar and the celebration and it seems out of character for her. Not that she doesn't get wild and do crazy things like that, but it seems like anytime that's happened in the past, when she goes to a bar, it's usually to mess with somebody that's there.
Yeah,
something is happening, working an angle for some
and
reason.
Maybe she didn't plan it with the girl. Maybe she just was like, oh, here it is,
an opportunity.
Because surely she knew Rip wasn't gonna, so surely, but then it's Beth too, so her hitting the girl just because she talked to Rip and was touching him, I could see that too, though, for not even planning it and not having any goal behind it.
It's possible,
that was just
it seems odd to me, because everything for her normally is always a means to an end.
That didn't seem like a thing for John, governor, and getting all that. So to me, that wasn't really a good move as far as that goes. So, But maybe because he's done what he's done, she don't really care now.
So I guess everything for
and
the
he's
next...
not trying to get reelected, so
No, but everything maybe for the next episode, as far as then, the problems that were going to have to be solved is her in jail, or we have to figure out how to get her out of that. How to get the livestock stuff fixed, and for Casey's, and I guess Jamie's is that he doesn't get entangled with them and turn on John again.
Yeah,
that's all we have, I guess.
Yeah. I'll be ready to watch next on Sunday.
Yep. Tulsa King. That's what I was going to mention.
Oh yes, gotta watch that too.
You gotta watch Tulsa King too. If you like Yellowstone,
well,
and
it's
you're
totally different show.
Right, but if you're a Taylor Sheridan fan, that you like the way he writes and the way he develops characters and the way he puts things together, this is another good show, and it airs same day. So then we just a couple of more weeks, 3 more episodes, because this is episode 3. No, 4 more episodes because they're doing 7.
Okay, before the break. It was December the 13th. 18th. Okay.
The mid-break season finale, or the season, mid-season break, however they call it.
Yeah, whatever.
And that night they are then rolling out 1923, other prequel, takes place between this and 1883, which is easy enough to do the math.
To watch,
right? So, and I've seen a lot of people mention that they would really like to see then a jump ahead to like the 60s or 70s, or the 50s, 60s, and then jump to the 80s, because I'd really like to see the 80s
where they're showing John
with those flashbacks. A lot more of that. You get to find out a lot more about Rip's character. A lot more about Beth, a lot more of them about when they were younger, and the mom. Yeah. And when she was a part of the family.
Yeah, and why John it was his wife, obviously. He was in love with her, but just can't seem to move on after 20 years. Kind of thing. But
be sure to hit that like button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified the next time we upload. And we appreciate you watching and listening. And if you have any sort of comments about anything on this episode that you think we missed, or the series as a whole, or any theories that you have, my big theory is that John's going to die this season. But anything else, just let us know in the comments below.
Guess he can't run for governor again, for sure, if he's dead.
See, that's why he don't care. He knows he's not going to make it out of this alive. Anything else? No. All right. See you. Bye.
Bye.